So 100 years ago, when I went to hairdressing school, when we learned color, we were taught to do color a specific way. We were taught to put color on dirty, dry hair. The dirtier, the better. It'll grab, it makes the color stick, all of these crazy little myths that they used to teach. And the reason why they taught that back then was because the chemicals that we used were really strong. They were really high in alkali, they could burn the skin, it was really runny, it was liquid color, they had liquid developer. So they really wanted 3 days of oil to build up on a client's scalp to protect their skin from the chemicals, and they wanted like a week's worth of hairspray stuck to the hair, so when you did this, the color didn't run down their face and they'd get stains. So that was taught back then. Apply color, the dirtier the better. Well, you know, fast forward to today, and there are hairdressers still doing this, even though we don't even have those products anymore. Color has come so far in 20 years, never mind 30 or 40 when this was taught. We have tube color, it's creamy, there's got conditioners in it. We have cream developer that has conditioners in it. So it's lower in pH, so it's not as strong a chemical. But we're still taking these really gentle colors and putting it over dirty, dry hair. And back then, when they taught this, we didn't have silicone and gel and polymers and resins and all these different styling products. I mean, we had, you know, they had setting lotion and mousse back then, was about it. So now here we are doing all of this color, taking all this really nice gentle color and putting it on dirty, dry hair. And the biggest problem in every hair color line is fading. So when you watch television and you're watching hair color commercials on TV, what you see on color commercials is our fade resistant technology, our anti-fade system, our fade defying formula, salon quality that doesn't fade. So they are getting so much business of ours because our products aren't working. It's not that the products don't work or aren't good, it's that the way we're working with them isn't working. So here we are. 7 years in a row, color is down in the salon industry, and it's up and over the counter. And the number keeps growing. So we need to start doing color better, and we need better products. So in every salon, in every back room of every salon, there is a demi-permanent color line. With all of that I just explained, that we're doing color like we did it 20 years ago. We're putting really gentle color and color that's meant to be demi-permanent over hairspray and silicone and gel, and it's not lasting at all. It's supposed to last 6 to 8 weeks. We're lucky if we get 3 to 4 weeks out of it. So there needed to be something different that came out for us for a product, and Soma did it. Soma came out with something different that we can use now, and in a way to use it better. Number one, we have to clean hair. We cannot continue to put color on dirty, dry hair. This is old school, and from all of the lawsuits that I've done in hair color, I've done several lawsuits from clients getting burnt and scarred even with color. It was all because people were putting color and chemicals on dirty hair. We have metals in our hair and all sorts of other things. So the first thing we need to do is clarify our hair. And as you see in the video that we've presented to you today, we're washing hair. We use a good clarifying shampoo, nothing that's stripping, but something to remove everything that shouldn't be there, so the color can work better. It's a gentle color. We have more gentle colors with conditioning agents now. We need to clean hair so the cuticle can swell easily, and it's effective. Not just being able to swell the cuticle, but once we do that, there's more room inside the hair for color instead of it being filled with, you know, aspirin and medication and metals from your water, and color's going to work better. So we always clean hair first. After we clean it, we condition it. That again was kind of an old school myth and taboo, was you never conditioned hair before chemicals because your hair would be too soft or it would block the color or the perm from taking. Again, we don't have those products anymore either. Our conditioners are meant to, you know, close the cuticle, even the pH, even the porosity of the hair, so the color will take better. So we clean it, we condition it, then we cut it. Now in Soma, we cut last, as you'll see in the video. Especially when you have the talent of Albie Mulcahy, you cut last. But we clean here, we condition it, then we apply color. We always apply color to clean, slightly damp hair. Our hair works basically like a sponge. If you wet a sponge and you wrap it around your finger and let it dry, it will dry in a curl. And wet it and it comes back out. And the same exact thing happens with your hair. You wet your hair, you wrap it around a roller, and it will dry in that shape. So our hair absorbs moisture and then dries. So if you have a spill on your counter, we don't pick up a bone dry sponge and try to pick up the spill. We wet it and wring it out and then pick up the spill. So clean, slightly damp hair will absorb faster, better, and more evenly. And as we test hair color in the lab, as I'm working on hair color in the lab, as I have with a few chemists, they always work with it on clean, slightly damp hair. And it was amazing to me the first time I saw it how much better color works. So with Soma, they have developed the tools and the products to do this better. They have a perfect clarifying shampoo to use prior to all of your chemicals. They have a perfect leave-in conditioner to even the porosity, even out the pH, and prepare the hair for the chemicals so it works better. Shampooing and conditioning first. Over the years, as I've taught this, I get a lot of questions. And what do you mean you wash the hair first? And oh, you can't put hair color on wet hair. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from hairdressers over this. It seems so foreign to them to do this. And it's funny because I've been in every position in our industry, as the hairdresser, as the educator, as working for the manufacturer, and even being in a lab. So it's funny, I understand every question that is posed to me and why it's coming to me. But let's talk about this for a minute. We are the only industry, hairdressers, are the only industry that work with pigments and dyes that don't prep their surface. I mean, painters sand, buff. It takes them a week to prepare the house and 1 day to paint. And it takes even manicurists who spend a half hour buffing and filing your nails and 5 minutes to paint it. And we spend all of our time painting and not doing anything to the surface, which is why we have such issues with gray coverage and with fading of hair color, which are the two biggest problems that we have in hair color. Every hair color company has them. And we need to start fixing it. We can't make the color any better at this point. We can only make what we do with it better. So we need to really start taking care of the hair and treat it like a fabric, as a seamstress does. Somebody who works with fabrics, they understand material, how to take care of it, how to prepare it, how to wash it, how to take care of it afterwards. And we don't. We spend so much time in classes learning about the color itself or buying a name of color, and we don't spend any time learning about hair, what to do before the chemical or after the chemical. And I think that's why we're having such problems. And I love that Soma has fixed this and given us the products and the color to eliminate all of these problems. So as we start fresh as a new trained hairdresser, we're going to wash and prepare our hair and remove anything off the hair that's going to interfere with the chemical. We're going to even the porosity, make it nice and conditioned prior to, so it's even better conditioned afterwards. And then for hairdressers who want to cut, you wash and condition and then you cut. And by the time you're done cutting, most of the moisture has left the hair and you are ready to apply color. For other people like Albie in his salon, they wash, they condition, they apply, they blow dry, and then cut. So it doesn't matter how you do it, it's still going to work better. After we've washed the hair and conditioned the hair and applied the color and done excellent application, we process. And processing color for this color line is 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes if you want better deposition, better coverage, deeper results, 30 minutes. You can go under a medium dryer, It'll cut your processing time in half. If you want to use a steamer or a roller ball or any other form of heat, you don't need a plastic cap. Place them under the heat, 10-15 minutes, which saves a lot of time. And that's what hairdressers sell, is slots of time. So the faster and better we can do it, all the better for the client. After processing, we take the client to the sink and we start rinsing them with as cool water as the client can stand. Now, we don't want to make them uncomfortable, but we want to start using cool water on them so we can close the cuticle and start to trap the color inside. I see so many hairdressers rinse with warm to hot water, which opens the cuticle and flushes all the color down the drain that they just spent a half an hour trying to get in the client's hair. And this goes right back to the fading problem. So we're going to start rinsing with cool water, as cool as they can stand. And when we're done rinsing, we're going to follow with a conditioner, because conditioners are made to be more acidic than shampoos, or they tend to be more acidic than shampoos. So we're going to close the cuticle all the way back and trap the color inside, which is perfect. We don't need to wash it. We already washed it when they came in. The cuticle is closed. We've rinsed everything off the outside of the hair, and the hair is clean and it's perfectly ready to go. The only time we really advocate shampooing after a chemical is after using lightener. We want to shampoo the chemical out of the hair. We don't need to do that with color, but it's absolutely acceptable to do it after lightener. And then you would follow with conditioner. So with Soma Color, we rinse with cool water, we use a conditioner, and we're finished. So we're not shampooing out the color, which contributes to fading. So once we've finished rinsing the hair with cool water and following with conditioner and taking the client to the chair, and we're ready to finish, whether you've cut or you haven't cut yet, we're ready to finish. Now, one of the key factors that's fading hair color across the country with every product line is that we're using styling products that are usually high in pH or are full of alcohol. Those two factors in styling products are color killers. Absolutely will take the color out of your hair so quickly. The client goes home, it's fading, fading, fading with the products that we've recommended that they use to keep their color in. And they don't see any difference in that, so they end up going over the counter. So Soma has designed all of their styling products are alcohol-free and pH balanced, 4.5 to 5.5 for hair. So we're not reswelling the cuticle. We are not losing hair color. We're not using alcohol to dry and dehydrate and take color out of hair. So you have a perfect array of styling products to use on color-treated hair, especially fresh color. Fresh color done in the salon, you absolutely have to use something that's pH balanced and alcohol-free on fresh color. You'll get the longest, best results using products designed that way. And if you look at all of the styling products in Soma's line, they all say right on the bottle, 4.5 to 5.5, so you feel safe. I know so many product lines say, oh, we're safe to use here and we're safe to use there, and there's nothing written on the bottle to make you feel good about using those products on color. And this is where all of our money is. We do color. This is where hairdressers make the most money, and all of our clients are packing up and going over the counter because we're not using our products correctly. And the manufacturers have not made good quality products for hairdressers to use with color. But Soma has. That's why I love this company. So as we get into the finishing aspect of this and we use styling products that are color safe and we blow dry, on fresh color, you know, we have to be careful about what we do. And a lot of the companies are teaching glazing and doing all of these extra color services on top of what you just did, taking a clear color and putting all over the color that you just finished. This is going to glaze it and seal it. Well, that does not work. You can't seal color in with a chemical because you're just reopening the cuticle all over again. And I've told hairdressers around the country as I travel around the country, you know, the next time you do that, put a white paper towel down in your sink as you're rinsing your glaze off, and you'll see all of the color that was underneath it coming out. Until Soma came up with two products. Now, silicone products in our industry are pretty typical. You have drop form or a spray form of these, and they're fabulous. Fabulous for shine, fabulous for protecting. But you can't use them on color unless they're alcohol free. And the Soma Solus and the Soma Prism silicone products are alcohol free. These are going to glaze your hair. These will seal your color. You can add this to any styling product. You can cocktail it in for added protection. You can use them alone after color to seal color in. It'll make it shiny, seal the color, and protect it. It's a great UV protectant, and it's a great thermal protectant to your hair without the alcohol, because alcohol is, again, one of our biggest color killers. So, you know, for all of the product lines that I've worked with over the years, companies that I've worked for, working in the lab with chemists making products, I've never seen a complete line. I've seen this line has 1 or 2 products that's great for this, and this one has 1 or 2, and this color line is great, but their you know, shampoos and conditioners aren't so good, and then this one has great shampoos and conditioner styling, but their color isn't so good. I haven't seen anything fully complete yet. Until Soma came along, and it was ironic that they named the color Complete Color, which I thought was completely appropriate considering. I love the fact that everything is tight in one, that you have everything that you need as a colorist. I am a colorist, and I want my tools. They have the tools to use prior to all of your chemicals and color, and they have the tools to use after all of your color. One key thing I love to have as a colorist always at the back bar is a really good blue-violet shampoo. And I see a lot of them out there that are not so good. There's been a couple over the years, you know, 1 or 2 that have been good, but this one is excellent. As such a great toner at your back bar, we do 40% blondes. In the salon, where color lies is we're doing about 40% gray coverage, we're doing 40% blondes, and about 20% fashion tone. The more inner city you are, the higher the percentage of fashion tone clients, and the more out of city you are, the lower. But all of our color goes into gray coverage and blondes. So having a great blue-violet shampoo here is perfect. We have so many blondes, we're always toning at the sink, so to have a good one back at the bar is just a dream, and then you can retail it. But not just for blondes, even for brunettes. You want to do more ash browns or browns that are fading, brassy, especially parts of the country where in the sun a lot and their color gets washed out from the sun quicker. It's great to have a blue-violet shampoo with browns to keep them dark and rich. Black colors, very dark brown and black. Cool reds, red violets, perfect blue-violet shampoo works on all of them. So it really is being not utilized to its best. Everybody's using them for blondes, but not using them on the brunettes or the redheads, and they're fabulous for it, especially when you have a good one. So we have everything that we need. We're clarifying prior to, we're conditioning prior to, we're applying the color, we're rinsing with cool water, we're following up with a great conditioner or a blue-violet shampoo or both if we need one, getting them to the chair, using color-safe products, alcohol-free, pH-balanced styling products. So from beginning to end, we have everything we need in the Soma hair care line. I love this color. I am so happy that this color is out on the market right now. We are so over needing this product. We needed this product 15 years ago. And it's just unfortunate that our education is not keeping up with what's happening in the climate, what's happening in marketing, what's happening in the labs. But it's here, so I'm thrilled. It's just so much demi-permanent color being used. And, you know, typically hairdressers go to grab a demi-permanent color. They think it's more gentle. They're using it for specific things where they don't think permanent color is working. And half the hairdressers forget that it's demi-permanent color. It's made to fade. And in our industry right now, the last thing you want to do is pick up a color that's made to fade. But we needed a color that's as gentle as a demi, and that need that hairdressers have when they go to reach for that demi, but they want to get it so it's gentle and it's good and it's permanent. So we needed something in between the two, something that's not made to fade but won't lift. So we have a deposit only, no lift color. And when we get into thinking about what we're doing in hair color right now, we're doing 40% gray coverage. Most of that we're just depositing color. Now the problem is everybody's using 20 volume. They're thinking, oh, I need it to cover the gray. Gray hair is resistant, all of these things, which is not true. I mean, it's, again, like a seamstress. Some fabric is tougher than others. Not all fabric is tough. Some is soft, some is easy to cover. But what's happening is we're all using these 20 volumes and these stronger developers to make this color cover gray. And then in 2 weeks when the color fades, it looks brassy. So we're either selling a lot of that blue violet shampoo that I just talked about, or we need a better color, we need a better way to do this. And this is it, the Soma Complete Colour. We have a no lift deposit only color, so you could use 20 volume, it's not gonna lift. You're gonna get that extra deposit that you need without the lift. This is the answer to all of our problems. And they were just so smart to really dive into this and figure out what the problem was that we were having and fix it for us. And I love that. They have just the essentials. They have 18 colors that you can mix and match and make tons and tons of color. But we covered all the bases. We covered the gray coverage, the most popular products for covering gray. We have blondes, toners. We have a couple of fashion shades that you can mix with everything else. So it is the perfect array of shades that any salon needs to do their job. Gray coverage, low lighting, toning, color correction. This color practically thinks for itself, that you can correct color and it will actually even the tone of hair almost by itself. I mean, it's the most amazing color I've ever seen. Yes, it almost thinks for itself. Because without the lifting ability and the developer causing the color to lift and deposit differently in different parts of the hair, without that happening, the color will literally tone hair evenly on one strand. So, you know, when you get done, yeah, you get done with the color, you're like, did you see that? I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous. We don't want to say that it was the color, it was us, right? So we have just every demi-permanent color to go away and have this color line in the back of every single salon in their back room. I see all the time hairdressers putting in low lighting on pre-lightened hair. It's porous, there's porous now, it's gonna fade quicker. Especially when they're not clarifying prior to and taking care of it after and not even using good styling products that are pH balanced. Your low lights are gone so quickly. Now we have the before color, the after color, and a deposit only color that we can now do low lights, tint backs, color correction, and have it stay and look beautiful. You know, as I talk about hair being fabric, you know, silk, cotton, wool, corduroy, and that's what hair is. We actually need to be more fabric experts than we do product experts. For using a demi-permanent color, I see people using so much of it for so many things, and they don't realize that that one product, number one, is made to fade. Number two, it's going to fade differently on every fabric. For some people, it'll last a little bit longer. People tend to have finer fabric. And for medium to coarse fabric, it's not even a demi-permanent color anymore. It's a semi-permanent. So, you know, we have a certain amount of success when we're doing it. I see salons, oh, you know, they say, well, it's not fading. We don't have a problem with our demi-permanent fading. But they only see their successes. They're only seeing the people who came back, because the people who aren't coming back, they can't measure the good to the bad. And I see so much of this. You know, I've been so lucky in my career to do, you know, behind the chair and then be an educator and, you know, work for a distributor and work for a manufacturer and work with chemists. And for the last 8 years of my career, I've been working with a salon consultant. And he's one of the top salon consultants in the industry. And he does everything and anything that has nothing to do with hair. And it's funny, as I work with him, working with salons, we go in and consult and help them grow their business. It's funny, it's one of the first things we do is, you know, they say, well, what can we do to make our salon better? And I say, geez, I don't know, what's going wrong now? So what we do is we'll pull all the clients' names who haven't come back, and we call them and ask them, you know, why didn't you go back? It's amazing to me when you hear the color clients who stop coming back because of fading. You know, and people go on and on about the economy. Oh, they're going over the counter for the economy. That's not why they're going. You know, it's value for the money. In fact, I've read that even in a bad economy, salon visits go up. It's something that women have an outlet to do in a bad economy. But it has to be worth it. It has to be worth their time. And I know even for me, you know, I need to get my hair colored. I want it to last. I can't in 2 weeks have it fading and look bad, and you know, and I'm on a plane every single weekend and going off to teach and doing this and that. You know, my color has to last. And they feel the same way. They don't have the time to come back and have it done and have the last 2 weeks it looks, you know, wishy-washy, or they have a wedding that weekend. They're going to pop in the store and grab something and do it at home versus making the time to go to the salon and have it redone. So we really have to start plugging into our clients and looking at the color. And so many hairdressers judge the color, what it looks like when it walks out of the door. Oh wow, it looks so great when she left. It should look good when she leaves. I mean, if you can't make it look good when you leave, there's serious problems going on. How you judge color is what it looks like when it comes back in 5 weeks. That's how you judge your products. That's how you judge their shampoo, their conditioner, their styling products, their finishing products. The color that you're using, that's how you judge it, is what your work looked like in 5 weeks, not what it looks like in 5 minutes. So when you start doing it correctly, you have products and hair color like this, and you see the difference 5 weeks later. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Soma Complete Colour, deposit only, no lift, no ammonia, no MEA. This is again part of these marketing schemes that they use to sell hair color, trying to make hairdressers afraid of ingredients. Ammonia free, and this is free and that is free. You know, it's fine to do that when you have something special, unique, and different. For the sake of just taking, you know, something out of a product, you know, you always have to put something in its place. Typically when you have an ammonia-free hair color, they use an ingredient, short MEA, or monoethanolamine, or an ethanolamine. This color has neither, that's what makes it special, unique, and different. It's got amino methylpropanol in it, so we don't have the smell of the ammonia, we don't have the harshness and chemical of the ethanolamine, and which creates it so it does not lift. It's perfect color, perfect for the hair. So they're not trying to hide anything or just try to sell you something by making you afraid by saying it's ammonia free or MEA free. Completely open with their ingredients, that you can look for all of this organic color they're talking about. There's no such thing as organic color. There's no such thing. You either have to say they all are or they all aren't. You can say it's vegan, as this color is, and they're not swapping one bad ingredient for another bad ingredient and trying to say, well, it's not sugar, it's sweet and low, which is typically what happens in our industry. For every time they say something doesn't have something, it's something just like it, and sometimes it's worse. But, you know, for me, saying that is, I wouldn't be doing my job, I wouldn't be doing the product justice to sit here and say, you know, the color is ammonia-free or MEA-free. It's got keratin, it's a keratin-based color. I mean, and for our hair, we all know how important keratin is. Also helps in the porosity and the end result of the color because it has a good keratin protein in it. It's got moisturizers in it for its conditioning base. So for the color, we have proteins and moistures in it. Hair is moisture and protein, like a sponge. So for some color lines, they're a protein base. For some color lines, they're a moisture base. For some color lines, they're a wax base. And we have to make the color friendly for the hair. So if we're working on hair that's moisture and protein, it's nice to be able to replace the moistures and protein in with the product. And that's what Soma did. Soma Complete Haircare Swatch Chart. They made easy to use pull-out swatch chart. 18 colors, so 2 of the pages are their actual colors, and the 3rd page they made a combination. They did combinations of the 2 colors just so you could see some mixing and some added creativity to the line. They also have a clear color. that you can mix with any of the colors to make them translucent. So if you did a highlight on someone's hair with lightener and you wanted to see the two-tone, you could add clear to any of the colors, put it over the whole head so you still have that translucent look. If somebody didn't want complete coverage on their gray, they still wanted a more translucent dimensional look, you could add the clear to any of the colors and make it more translucent. And they did all sorts of combinations, easy to use, easy to pull out, hold up against the head, easy to keep at your station. They made it completely convenient for the hairdresser to use and have available to be able to do consultation with their clients. And I testify, you know, when color companies get sued, they use me as an expert witness in lawsuits, which is really interesting. That really brings it up for me is, you know, when I'm reading through depositions of what happened and you know, giving a deposition myself, that the products were sold to them, not taught. They just weren't taught to them, they were sold to them. And how their educators were right back to where I was years ago was, you know, as a glorified salesperson. I recited a script, I went in and sold the product and kind of glamorized the product. And I think back to when I did that, and I know that's what they're getting now, unfortunately. And we need better education. They need better education. And there are so many lawsuits. There's not too many of me that do it. There's too many for me to handle. And it's sad to see that. And I see what happens to the stylist in the salon when something like that happens. So that's been my my last few years is, you know, writing education and trying to write better education. I've written a lot of the education for Soma, and I love working with Soma. I love working with a company that's doing right, that spends the money on education. Their educators are so well trained. You know, it doesn't matter where they are in the country, they get an educator to come in. They're going to do them justice and really give good, solid stuff. So I'm proud to sit here and do this video for them. I really am. Nothing makes me happier than to offer a good product that works and better education to the stylist. So why I was so excited about getting involved with Soma and this color line was because it is a game changer. This was the void-filling tool, product, education that has been lacking for so long, that this was it. I mean, this is the game changer. And when salons get this product and understand what's going on behind it, and they see the results of it, it's a game changer. It makes struggling to ease. It makes all of the things that we ever wanted to do in our industry done, that we can do the job and be proud of the job without struggling and trying to make it work so hard. It's so needed. It should have came out 15 years ago. And nobody was on the edge to do it until now. So yeah, I'm thrilled. I couldn't be happier for me and for everybody using it. You know, that's a good thing. For Albie Mulcahy, you know, legend in our industry, but so much more fun that I'm back with Albie. Albie and I were together years ago with a different company, and then although we've always stayed in touch, I love the fact that he and I can work together again. The man is passion coming out of his pores for this industry. His talent is boundless. I mean, I'm surprised the man sleeps at night with all the ideas of hair going through his head. Just so great to work with him again. And his work just speaks for itself. I love that he's going to be in this video. I love that he's going around the country promoting Soma, doing classes. And if you ever have the chance to see him, you got to go see him. So I'm thrilled that we could film this, part of this in his salon, and film him doing what he does best, which is cutting hair. And he is a meticulous man about the models that sit in front of him and how that hair color looks. So, and to know how thrilled he was when he saw it, I'm just loving life. Loving life.
I've always been a believer that you should be a specialist. You either cut or you color. It's not always the case in most salons. However, I found it I find that it works out really well when a hair cutter collaborates with a hair colorist on the final design. Whenever we do color in my salon, I have people that just do color. We sit there, we talk to our model, we are a client, if you will, and we come up with a specific look. The hair is shampooed, always first. Clarifying shampoo is a low pH shampoo which is not going to strip the hair out, but is going to remove any oils or color deposits or mineral deposits or any type of debris that can and will interfere with the application of the color. And it really makes sense when you think about it, because if we clean the hair and scalp, thoroughly clean the hair and scalp, you'll get much more even coverage of the color application. And again, like Lisa told you, on damp hair, the color will absorb right into the cuticle of the hair. The other aspect is the conditioning aspect. Now, one of the interesting things I like doing things with Soma is the low pH factors, okay? 4.5 to 5.5. Most products, even though they say they are color safe, have a much higher pH. So after shampooing, conditioning the hair, brings the pH level to a normal state, 4.5 to 5.5, you get great color application, and so on and so forth. When that is done, the client then comes back to my chair. We blow it up. We apply the leave-in conditioner, which is a great detangling product, as well as a protection from the heat that I'm going to use, because I only cut hair dry. So therefore, I like to use hot flat irons and hot blow dryers to get that hair perfectly smooth and straight. It allows me, this process allows me, after the color is done, the reason I love cutting hair after color is because then I can rearrange, if you will, the color placement on the hair by shaping it into shape. By putting a shape in there, taking what could be regular highlights, taking them up, tapering them out, and letting them fall in different directions. It works well for us, as you'll see in the video with some of the beautiful work that we did, and my staff as well. Coming from a salon owner's point of view, which I am, the reason we carry Soma organic products at Velvet Salon is many reasons, actually. First of all, being a natural-based organic product line, green being the favorite color these days of our industry, it's probably one of the best products on the market today to fall into that category. And I'm having more and more clients come into my salon asking me, do you have natural products? Do you have organic products? And quite honestly, it sells off the shelf. We do a very high retail business with the Soma product. From a salon owner's point of view, again, is the price factor, as well as an economic view for the clients. The fact that you get 16 ounces of product for roughly $20 to $22 for a client to purchase is a huge advantage from the client's point of view. They love it. They come back and they say, this lasts so long, I didn't have to spend so much money, so on and so forth. And it's a wide range of product, but coming from an industry where I started in the 70s, there used to be a big emphasis on pH levels of products. Over the years, with all the different products that have come out, we've sort of lost focus with that. We started getting into more space age technology type things, and we lost the basic reason why the pH level of a product is so important for the hair. Like we touched on many times in this video, the fading factor. You know, with the Soma deposit only colors, the colors are so rich, they're so vibrant, they're just so fashion forward, if you will, or everyday, depending on what your client is looking for, that having the low pH of 4.5 to 5.5 with not only the shampoos and the conditioners, but the styling and finishing products as well, it just keeps that color lasting longer. And when I do shows and education for Soma, that's one of the points that I touch on all the time, and people seem to respond to it, especially the hairdressers that were around during the 70s and 80s when the pH factor was such an important thing, and it just makes sense. You have a low pH product, your color's not going anywhere. You're not going to blow that cuticle up. You're not going to pull that color out. And one of the interesting things I like about it is shampooing before color as opposed to after. A lot of people don't get that because that's not the way it's been taught. And when we sit there and we shampoo the hair first, and then we condition it, even out that porosity the way it should be, apply that color to damp hair, you get full penetration from roots to ends, and then you just rinse it out. Make sure you rinse it out with cool water, not something that's so cold that the client can't stand it, but you want to remember cool water locks the cuticle in, and it's just rinsing out the excess. And then you put the desired conditioner that you want to use in afterwards, even out that porosity, lock that color in, that client comes back to the station, and you're ready to go. And then we apply the appropriate products, whatever it may be. Always leave-in detangler, makes that hair easy to comb through. It's got a low pH, adds as a protective barrier. Okay, and whatever styling product I need, because I only cut hair dry. When I cut, I'm finished. Okay, and if you'll notice, the products that we're using in the video, we're using the whole range, depending on the look that we want. So, I've given you a multitude of reasons why you want to carry this product line, but let me tell you about the most important. I know the fear many of you are going to have right now. It's like, oh God, another color line. I just invested $3,000, $4,000 in a complete color line. I have all of this sitting in my back room, and now you guys want me to take another color line? No, not at all. Simply because with the Soma deposit only color, it's an additive to what you already have. Very important to remember that. There are only 18 shades. You can mix these shades with whatever you have. We are not asking you to replace your entire color line. We're asking you to take us on as an additive to the great line that you already have. And it's going to make your life so much easier. Let me take a few minutes to talk about Lisa. Lisa and I have been friends for, I hate to say it, close to 30 years. I'm originally from Boston, and I started doing this probably back in '75 or so. And Lisa and I have crossed paths many different times for many reasons, whether it be at classes or shows that we've worked together in the past for distributors or other product companies and so on and so forth. If I was going to have a person to depend on for her knowledge, not only in color, but in technology and in hair itself, and in business as well, she would be my go-to girl. Okay, Lisa has experienced everything there is to experience in this industry. And right now, she's in the process of putting together some dynamic educational programs for Soma. And I'm excited to be part of it. You'll be able to take cutting classes, you'll be able to take color classes, and we're putting together an amazing cut and color class so we can be in your house, in your salon, and show you how you take a client from color to shaping and do a complete changeover. So we're really excited. I'm really excited myself personally to be working with Lisa. I think she's an amazing hairdresser, an amazing individual, and quite an amazing business person as well. So love you, Lisa. Let me take a few minutes to talk about the way I shape or cut hair. As I said previously, I haven't cut wet hair in over 15 years. But I also said I've been doing this for over 35. The first 20 years or so of my career, I was a wet cutter, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only reason I changed is when I was living in New York, I was introduced to something that was completely different. I like change. I believe that every 10 to 15 years or so of your career, you should not forget about what you know, but you should sort of put it on the back burner and learn something new to keep you fresh and keep you on the edge, so to speak, and that's what I do. I have a couple of great hairdressers that work in my salon. They're wet cutters. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever you feel that you do creatively, that's what you should do. And in saying that, the Soma product works great, whether you cut hair wet or whether you cut it dry. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Why I do what I do, it gives me more of a artistic, creative feel, if you will. What I do is 99% visual and 1% technique. That's not to say that I don't use the knowledge that I've gotten over the years as a wet cutter to introduce that in my mind into the shaping that I make. When I say 99% visual, it's more of a visual balance as opposed to a technically even concept. I did technically even for over 20 years. I won't say I progressed because I just changed. I changed in the way I look at things. I look at things more in an artistic point of view. Is it balanced? Is the lighting right from a photographer's point of view? Is the construction right from a construction point of view? You know, does it look right? Because to me, if it looks right, then it's right, regardless if it's right technically. That's just the way I'm thinking these days. And I'd love to be able to share that concept with you if you ever give me the opportunity. But like I was saying, whether you cut hair wet or whether you cut hair dry, whether you use a razor, whether you use scissors, or whether you use a clipper, or whether you use a broken bottle, it doesn't matter. The product works well with all artistic forms of shaping and or coloring hair. And I highly recommend that you invite us into your salon, invite us into your homes, if you will, and let us share with you some modern day thinking, if you will, on coloring and shaping hair. I hope to see you there.